And I'm an employee of the Indiana State Teachers Union, and I'm here this evening at the request and to represent teachers in the local teachers associations, including Southeastern, Logansport, Pioneer, Caston. I actually represent 28 different school corporations, but this is primarily the group in and around Cass County. Several weeks ago at the McHale complex at Riverside Park, we had a third house session, and Representative Gutwein from Rensselaer, Representative McLean from Logansport, and Senator Randy Head from Logansport were at the session, and the purpose of that was to give constituents and voters an opportunity to discuss issues with the legislators. And unfortunately, it didn't turn out quite that way that day. They invited a representative from the Department of Education to come to that meeting, and he proceeded to take about 45 or 50 minutes of that time explaining the educational revisions, bills, programs, etc., that the State Superintendent of Public Instruction is wishing to push through the legislature. We were a little disappointed because we being about 175 teachers who were there and other administrators and constituents, really wanted to hear what the legislators had to say about those issues and not hear the company line from the Department of Education. But the gentleman was well-spoken and knew what he was talking about, and he kept suggesting to us, well, just look at the bills. Don't take my word for it. You look at the bills. You go read them and see what you think. So we decided that was probably a pretty good idea. So we're going to help you do that this evening. I am not going to put actual bills language up there because I can't get current language. It changes daily. I am going to outline several of the major pieces of legislation that are being proposed and discussed in Indianapolis. I will give you some of the major talking points for those, and then we have several people that are going to speak to you and share some personal testimonials and some information about these issues. And then we have a section that we'll call question and answers, and we have several people who will help me with that, and we will try to field all the questions that we can. We have several documents that we're going to send home with you this evening, and I want to make sure that when you leave the facility tonight that you exit any of the top doors. There are tables set up at the top, and each of those tables has the same information, but there are several things that we think would be very informative and helpful to you, including sample letters that you could choose to send to your legislators. There's some question and answer information, how to contact legislators, and so forth. So please remember when we exit this evening to go out any of the back doors. Before we go on, I also want to thank Mr. Ken Fraser certainly for his help in facilitating the use of this building. Also thank Superintendent Michelle Starkey and Logansport for allowing us to have this forum here this evening, and the school board members in Logansport, many of whom are in attendance this evening. And I also want to thank the local presidents, Anita Vernon, for a tremendous amount of work. We have Deb Swartzel from Pioneer, and I think Gary Smith, I think I saw you from Caston, and Don Watkins is here from Southeastern. I don't know if I think there's a gentleman from Huntington here. Tom, are you here tonight? He's not here yet. Okay, well, with no further ado, we're going to go on into our program. We have a short little video clip that we would like to have you watch. It's about 3 minutes long, and I think it will set the tone for what we would like to accomplish tonight. I also want to do a disclaimer that we are not here this evening to bash anybody. I'm trying to make this as objective as possible. Obviously, I work for the Teachers Association, and I am a retired school teacher. I started my career right here. But we're going to try to eliminate as much of the political bias as possible, but I have to, in all fairness, have to tell you that I am an advocate for teachers, and I am an advocate for collective bargaining within the teacher arena, and I have no reason to change my mind on those yet. So we will go ahead and start, and if you'll let me fire this up, and we'll get started.
He says the problem with teachers is, what's a kid going to learn from someone who decided that his best option in life was to become a teacher? He reminds the the other dinner guests that you know it's true what they say about teachers. Those who can, do. And those who can't, teach. I decide to bite my tongue instead of his. And resist the urge to remind the other dinner guests that it's also true what they say about lawyers, because we're eating after all. And this is supposed to be polite conversation. I mean, you're a teacher, Taylor. Come on, be honest. What do you make? And I wish he hadn't done that. Asked me to be honest, because you see, I have this little policy in my classroom about honesty and ass kicking, which is, if you ask for it, then I have to let you have it. You want to know what I make? I make kids work harder than they ever thought they could. I can make a C+ feel like a Congressional Medal of Honor, and I can make an A- feel like a slap in the face. How dare you waste my time with anything less than your very best? I make kids sit through 40 minutes of study hall in absolute silence. No, you may not work in groups. No, you cannot ask me a question. So put your hand down. Why won't I let you go to the bathroom? Because you're bored. And you don't really have to go to the bathroom, do you? I make parents tremble in fear when I call home at around dinner time. Hi, this is Mr. Molly. I hope I haven't called at a bad time. I just wanted to talk to you about something that your son said today. To the biggest bully in the class, he said, "Leave that kid alone. I still cry sometimes, don't you?" And it was the noblest act of courage that I have ever seen. I make parents see their children for who they are and who they can be. You want to know what I make? I make kids wonder. I make them question. I make them criticize. I make them apologize and mean it. I make them write, and then I make them read. I make them spell. Definitely beautiful, definitely beautiful, definitely beautiful, definitely beautiful, until they will never misspell either one of those words again. I make them show all their work in math class and then hide it on their final drafts in English. I make them realize that if you've got this, then you follow this. And if somebody ever tries to judge you based on what you make, you give them this. Here, let me break it down for you so you know what I say is true. I make a difference. Now, what about you?